congratulations to celebrate in Mr. Nnamdi. You can take over, sir. Thank Sorry, can anyone hear me? Please confirm you can hear me. All right. Why is everywhere quiet?
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Then we can hear you, man.
All right. Thank you very much for joining again this evening. It's a great day to learn. Wonderful day to come together to learn about data analytics. I'm always excited whenever I have an opportunity to talk about data. Okay, you can see my video and if you can hear my voice, I'd like you to give me reactions, please. Thank you very much. All right, thank you for the reactions. We'll get into business shortly. And please, if you have your computers close to you, you should get set to get your hands dirty today as we will be diving deeper into some data manipulation in Google Sheets. All right, so yesterday we started by introducing, I started by introducing us to Google Sheets as a data, manipulation tool. And I was able to introduce us to the interface as well as, getting some of us to practicalize hands-on data entry. So I'll start off with the data entry and talk about some simple formatting skills or skills that you need here. And we'll work on a particular data set. We'll explore it together. So permit me to quickly share my screen as I show us, as we start off with the particular sheet we left off yesterday. I'll share my screen, and once my screen is up, I'd like you to give me a reaction once you can see my screen from your end. All right, thank you, Dorcas. Thank you, everyone. So, since we have worked on this sheet yesterday, you can see that it's showing us one of the sheets that we used yesterday on the list. I'll click on the live demo for Google Sheets, which is the sheet that we worked on yesterday. So these are the data sets we entered as at yesterday. So I want to talk about a little bit about some other data entry principles, principles that you should know about spreadsheets. So whatever we're doing here is applicable to both Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel. Spreadsheet packages, they have the ability of, producing or generating a sequential type of data that you intend to enter. When I say sequential, I mean when you're trying to enter numeric, like let's say numbers 1, 2, 3, 5. There's a way you can do that by entering just the first number and then instruct Power BI, or instruct Google Sheets to give you the sequence as presented. All you need to do is to give the sheet an example. And there are sequential kind of data that can be entered, and you use this particular method I'm about to show you to enter this data quickly without wasting so much time. So let's say I want to enter some numbers here. I want to enter some numbers 1 to, let's say 1 to 100. Okay, one way to do that is to begin to type in the numbers 1, press enter, 2, press enter, 3, press enter, 4, press enter, 5. But this is the inefficient way to get this done. So imagine I'm going to do this up to 100. I want to type 1 to 100. Now it's very inefficient to begin to type it manually and be pressing enter, when Google Sheets or spreadsheet allows for auto fill. Now you see this little circle, this small circle right here, and I point my arrow to it, it changes to like a cross. Okay, this circle is called autofill handle. Autofill handle. Whenever you are trying to enter a sequential data, right, all you need to do is to give Google Sheets just a sample, give it the first entry. Once you enter the first data, hold on to autofill handle and drag it all through the points you would like it to produce the data. So instead of typing this one by one, all I need to do is to enter the first number, which is 1. Just give it 1. Then hold your autofill handle and drag it down, down, down. Keep dragging until you're satisfied. So, okay, sorry. This is 1. I need to give it 2 samples at least. Let me give it 1 and 2. So I give it 1, 2, highlight the first 2 digits, and then drag it down. Google Sheets will be able to generate other numbers. Just give it 2 samples, 1, 2. And I give it 2 samples and drag it down. Google Sheets understands that, oh, I want to actually, enter numbers from 1, say, up to the point wherever I stop. That is where the number will stop being populated. But the more I drag this autofill handle down, the more numbers will be generated. Let's see that. So in fact, even if I don't start from 1, let's say I just come to 14 and 15. If I highlight 14, 15 and drag down, Google Sheets will also be able to generate more numbers for me. So the more you drag this autofill handle down, the more the numbers that will be generated by Google Sheets. So this is possible because these are natural numbers and they are in sequence. So anything you want to type that is in sequence, you can actually achieve that by this method. Now, the other sequence that we have that I can, quickly remember is, let's say you're working with the days in a week, the days of the week. So if I type in Sunday, once I type in Sunday, Sunday is enough for me to give to Google Sheets, and then Google Sheets will understand that I want to generate other days of the week. Just hold your autofill handle and drag it down. Google Sheets will generate other days of the week in that sequence: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So any day you start with and you hold and drag down, Google Sheets will help you to duplicate them. So imagine you're trying to enter data and you want to type days of the week. You don't need to type them manually. It's a waste of time. Just type the first and then drag down. It will give you in that order. Okay. And let's say you want to enter numbers, but this time around, I don't want to type 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. I want to just type in the even numbers. Even numbers starts from 0, 2, 4, 6, and so on and so forth. So all I need to do is to give Google Sheets just the first 2 examples, 0 and 2. When I highlight 0, 2 and drag down, Google Sheets will be able to generate other set of even numbers, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, in twos, right? Difference of 2. Just know how to use your autofill handle. Anything, be it a text data or string or categorical data or numbers, whatever it is that is in sequence, Google Sheets can help you generate such data. Let's talk about the month of the year. When you give it January and you type enter, and just press enter your keyboard, you hold your autofill handle, drag it down, Google Sheets will populate the other cells for you with the the month of the year. It can continue in that order once you drag it down up to any extent you want to get to. So this is how to use the autofill handle. Now, apart from using the autofill handle to make sequential data populate on sheets, you can also use it for formula copying or to copy formula. So let me talk about using Google Sheets as a calculator before we move ahead to working with data set. So whatever calculation you want to do you're using your usual calculator, Google Sheets or spreadsheets has the ability to perform such calculations. So imagine that I want to multiply 2 numbers, say 3 and 4. All I need to do to instruct Google Sheets to perform my calculation is to begin with the equality sign. Whenever you want to enter any formula, you want to use Google Sheet for any form of calculation, the instruction you give to it for it to realize or recognize that calculation is to begin with an equality sign. So equal to 3 times 4, enter. This will give you the answer 12. So this is the answer for 3 times 4. Whatever calculation you want to perform, spreadsheet has the ability of doing such calculation. Is it taking exponent? It can take exponent. Is it taking square root? It can take square root. Is it to perform matrix determinants? It can do that for you. Is it to multiply two matrices? It can multiply matrix. Is it to perform maybe some distribution in statistics? For those of you that are statisticians, it can calculate normal distribution, Poisson distribution. You can use Google Sheets to also run correlation analysis, regression. You can use Google spreadsheets for regression, for correlation. If you are, for those of you that are familiar with statistical concepts, you can use Google Sheets to perform several calculations, so many of them. You can use spreadsheet for that. But the only instruction that it needs for it to know that you want to perform calculation is to begin with equality sign. Because of time, I will not be able to cover up all the operations that can be done, but I will just do a brief, I'll show you the symbols. What I will do is show you the symbols that you use to perform calculation. I mean, the basic operations. I'll give you the mathematical operations as well as the spreadsheet equivalent of the operations. Now, let me quickly create a table to show you the operations. So here are the math operations, and then I'll give you the equivalent of spreadsheet operations. So I don't want to just say Google Sheet because these operations that we're going to be doing, performing here can be done in Microsoft Excel as well. So for addition, okay, let me first call, I'll start by, I want to enter a new cell between this and this, a new column, I mean to say. Let's say the name of operation. So for addition, I'll talk about addition, I'll talk about subtraction, I'll talk about multiplication, I'll talk about division, and I'll talk about exponent. So what else? I'll talk about square roots, taking square root of numbers. And what else? So these are the operations that would quickly, I'll just show you the symbols, I mean, the operations, and just do some simple examples, and then we'll move on to handling data sets here. But it's good that you know how to use these tools. So while I'm explaining these operations, I will also teach you how to modify your table. So let's say I want to make this header, the heading of the columns to be bold. Highlight all of the headings, make it bold. You can give it background color by choosing any color of your choice from here. You can also make it in a tabular form by entering borders. Come to this place, borders, and then give it all border. Okay, so that this can be presented as a table in tabular form. Okay, so we have the operations already. Now, what is the mathematical representation of the plus sign? The plus sign is represented with just the plus, and then minus, and then we have mathematics. Mathematical representation of division is actually times. I'll show you how the times symbol is. I'm trying to get the times symbol. Hold on. This is, I'm trying to get the times symbol. Just hold on. Let me check here. Just hold on. Give me a minute. Times. Where are you? I don't want to use X. Okay, I think I'll find it somewhere here. Oh, all right. So I've seen it. I found it. So this is the time symbol for mathematics, right? That is mathematics time symbol. Then division. This is mathematics division symbol. I'll show you the equivalent in Google Sheets. Here is mathematics division symbol. And for exponent, you are trying to take, I'll use a variable x to the power of something. So x raised to the power 2, for instance. So here is the mathematical symbol for exponent. And I'm trying to take x to the power of 2, for instance. So this is x to the power 2. Mathematically, that's how it's presented. Then for square root, mathematical symbol for square root is this very symbol. Let me show you quickly. This very symbol for square root. Here is my square root symbol. All right, great. This is the square root symbol for the mathematics representation of square root symbol. Now, what is the spreadsheet equivalent of these operations? Of course, for spreadsheets, it is also plus. The plus sign also works. This is what we use. And for minus, we use the same minus in spreadsheets. For multiplication, we use asterisk. Asterisk, that's shift and 8. The symbol is on 8, the 8 key on your keyboard. For division, we use the / for division. For exponents, we use the caret symbol, for exponents. The caret symbol is on 6. I mean shift and 6. Then for exponents, we use SQRT. I mean to take square root. SQRT to take square root. So these are the equivalents of these operations that can be performed in spreadsheets. Okay, the mathematics operations and the spreadsheet equivalents, they are all presented here. Now you need to be conversant with these symbols, because when it comes to performing calculations using spreadsheets, these are the tools you use. So let's just do some examples real quick. So if I want to add two numbers, I want to add 82 plus 53. Just put a plus symbol and it gives you the answer. If I want to subtract one number from another, I want to subtract this number from the other, it gives you the answer. Watch what I do. I always put the sign before I perform my operation, which is very, very key. If you don't put the equality sign, you can't perform whatever operation you intend to perform. For multiplication, I've done an example. Let's do another example. 34 times 12, and it gives you the answer. For division, just start with your equality sign. Let's divide 16 by 4. We get 4 as the answer. For exponent, let's say I want to raise 2 to the power of 9. So we have to start it equal to 2 to the power of 9. It gives you the answer. And then for square roots, start with equal to SQRT. We all know the square root of 144, which is 12. Put in a bracket, and it gives you the answer. So this is how to perform basic calculation using spreadsheets as your calculator. Okay, and once I select any of these operations I have performed, watch the formula bar. You will see the formula that I used in that cell. So right now we are all seeing 135. When I select the cell and look at the formula bar, you would get the formula that is used on that cell. Do the same thing here. That is the formula that I use on this cell, L3. Points to this one. L4, that is the formula in the formula bar, and L5, L6, L7. So this is how to perform basic operations using your spreadsheets. Are there questions? Any question? Okay, no question from anybody. So because I love to assess my students whenever I teach. I don't want to just assume that everybody have gotten what I've taught and then move on. I like to give this exercise. I believe that you all have your computer close to you and you can type. So this is what I'm going to do. I will create two data sets now, 2 rows here and here. Just populate these cells with numbers, and then you allow everybody who is on the call, who has a computer with them, to quickly perform the operations using the symbols. I mean, using these operations I have done. I'll call this num1, which is number 1, and num2, which is number 2. Then I just create random numbers all here, and yeah. So I'll create random numbers here, 360, and then let me create other numbers here. Okay, so this is what I want to do. I'd like you all to go ahead and add these 2 numbers. Put the results. Let the results be in a new column. So go ahead. I'll give you just 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes. Go ahead, add these 2 numbers. The answer should be here. Subtract the second from the first, multiply both, divide the second by the first, then take this guy to the power of 546 and find the square root of 360. So please go ahead and practicalize this right there on your computer. But those of you who have access, I can see that Dorcas is on my sheet. Dorcas, I would like you to quickly do this practice right here on my sheet. Please, if you understand the instruction, Dorcas, kindly help us to practice it right here on my sheet. I need you to add these two, subtract this from this, and then multiply both, divide the second by the first, or divide the first by the second rather. Perform these operations, Dorcas, on my sheet. But if you have your computer with you and you're actually carrying out this exercise, I would like you to give me a thumbs up on the chat. Let me know. Because once you're done, we would love to see your screen. You share your screen and show us what you have done. Hi, Dorcas, are you still here? Okay. Prince is actually with his computer. Ayobami is also there. Thank you for the reactions. Okay, I'm giving 120 seconds and I'll start a timer. I'll start the timer, and once the timer stops, I'm giving 2 minutes, that's 120 seconds. I will stop everybody. So your time starts now. Once the timer stops, I will stop everybody. The time starts now. You can see the timer is counting down, 1:43.
Sorry, Mr. Anamdi, my internet logged out. Sorry, what I want to do?
So I want you, since you're on my sheet, I want you to perform these operations right here on my sheet. I need you to help me to add these two numbers.
Just the same. Okay,
yes,
the same
thing. Add these two
side by
numbers,
side.
subtract number 2 from number 1, put the result here, multiply these two numbers, divide the first by the second, and take 87 to the power of 546, then find the square root of 360. Just put your results here. So others are trying it on their own, those people who have their computers. Once it is less than 55 seconds to go, because we have timer here counting down. In 7 seconds. 17, 16 seconds to go. I'm counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for trying out my exercise. Okay, so does anyone wants to share their screen to show us what they've done real quick? Anybody? Anybody? Going one? Prince. Ayobami, do you want to share your screen? Okay, I saw your hands up. Prince and Ayobami, at least I saw the two of you.
Yeah,
you confirmed that. Okay, please go ahead. Okay.
Sorry,
what screen are we seeing?
I'm trying to share my screen. Where will I click?
Yes, you've shared your screen. We can see it now. Just go to your sheet. I can see your screen now. Just go to your sheet. Yes, please.
Okay, so that's it. Can you see me? Can you see my screen?
So I can see your screen, but you have not gone to your sheet. So you would have to go to your sheet. It's like you've stopped sharing.
I'm there.
Are you on your sheet? Okay, let me stop sharing my own screen so that it doesn't interrupt.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Okay, now go to your sheet. I can see your screen now. Go to your sheet.
Yeah, I'm there.
So it means that you didn't share the correct sheet screen. You shared the window you shared is not okay. No, you shared the correct. I can see your WhatsApp. Just go to your sheet. Just go to your sheet now.
No, that's not me.
Whose phone? Who is sharing?
That's not me.
Okay, Prince is the person sharing. Prince, please unmute your mic.
Yes.
Please unmute your mic, Prince.
Oh, okay.
Now go to your sheet, Prince. Go to the sheet that you worked on.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to share, but it looks like two people cannot share at the same time.
No, two people can share at the same time, but just hold on so that it doesn't cause confusion. Let us see what Prince has done.
Okay.
Okay. Prince, I can't hear you. So not to waste so much time, I'd like you to stop sharing your screen now, please, because I can't see your sheet. So just stop sharing your screen. Let's allow Ayobami to just share a sheet so that we can move on. Thank you very much. So Ayobami, please, you can go ahead and share your screen now.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Let me see who is sharing. Are you sharing from your phone?
No, I'm on a computer.
No, I can't. I'm not seeing your screen. You're not sharing your screen.
Prince is still
please,
sharing.
please stop sharing, no, because we're seeing everything from your phone. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, stop.
Okay.
Ayobami, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I think so.
Let me show you. Just okay.
Can
Your screen is coming up. I can see your screen now. Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Go to your sheet now.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Double tap to open this live demo for Google Sheets. If it's not open, just double tap from here. I guess you shared a tab.
I'm trying to double tap, but
It's not working.
It's not working. It's not.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
So
not
because of
working.
time, I will continue. It's fine. Thank you very much for attempting, and thank you for practicalizing what we have done in the class. Let's go back to my own sheet. So you can stop sharing now. Let me share back my screen because I have a lot of things to talk about, and I need us to complete everything I have planned to discuss. Thank you very much. Okay. So Dorcas, Dorcas, let me complete this one. Equal to So let me see what Dorcas has done. This. Okay, great. So I have a reason for giving this tax. Now, whenever you have, so because the calculations I did here, everybody should come back to my screen, please. The calculations I did here, I used direct numbers for my calculations. When you select L2, you would see in the formula bar that I have 82 plus 53. And the same thing happened here. I used the direct numbers. But since the numbers are provided in cells, there is a concept that we call cell referencing, okay? Cell referencing, that is to reference your cell. Instead of using the name or instead of using the direct number for your calculation, since they are saved in a cell, it's better you use the cell reference. Reference the cell where the numbers are stored. For instance, N2 has the number 32 and O2 has the number 54. Instead of using the direct numbers 32 plus 54, I love what Dorcas did. She used the cell name to calculate the to perform the addition. Can you see it? N2 plus O2, which is fantastic. And one of the benefits of doing this is that whenever the number is changed, the calculation will still be retained. Watch this. If I change 32 to 1,000 or 19,823, as soon as I press enter, see the addition has the answer has increased because we use the cell reference, which is the best way, is the best practice in performing calculation with numbers that are stored in cells. And the same thing happened here. She used the cell reference. The same thing happened here, and the same thing happened here. In this case, to do your exponents, that's going to be the equal to n2 to the power of O2. As soon as I press enter, it will give us the number. I'm getting value greater than this place. Okay, it's fine. So the reason why we're having this number error is because the value we obtain is very large. 87 raised to the power 546 is a very large number. See the error. It says numeric value is greater than 1.7 this and cannot be displayed properly. So that is just the error. By the time I reduce this number to say, let's say 5 or 6, we should get an answer. So this is the answer. So raising 87 to the power of 500 and something is really large number, and spreadsheet does not have the capacity to display such number. That was why it returned the error earlier. But as soon as I change this number to 6, we have the number displayed. Okay. And finally, let's the square root of 360 equal to SQRT 360. It gives us the answer right here. If I should change 360 to something else, 81, you will see the answer has changed to 9. If I change 81 to something else, let's say 144, the answer will change to 144. Or 169, the answer will change to 13. That is the essence or the benefit of using cell referencing for your calculations. If you understand how to perform basic calculations in Google Sheets using cell referencing and direct numbers, I'd like to see reactions. Thank you very much. Please give me your reactions. All right. Great. Yes. Now, okay, go ahead, Moses. Your hand is up. You have a question for me? Hi, don't do. Your hand is up. Do you have a question for me? Or is that supposed to be a reaction? Let me assume that was supposed to be a reaction. Let's continue. So now let's focus let's shift back our attention to using spreadsheet as a data analytics tool. Okay. But as a data analyst, you need to know all of these things. Right? These are just basic. There are more to what I've just said. Okay. Let's talk about data using this data analytics tool. So what are the processes that are involved in running data analysis? I have a sample data I would like us to work with, and I'll open the data right now and begin to talk about other important things you need to know about spreadsheet. So the data I have prepared for this purpose is called sales data. I'll open the sales data now and let's work with it real quick. Okay, and I'll give everybody access to this sales data later on, but not now. So this is the sales data. I will open it with Google Sheets. Let's see it pop up. Great. Now, picture yourself as a data analyst, okay? And you're given this particular data set to make sense out of it. I mean, you're given this data set to say, okay, please, I need you to analyze this data for me. And sometimes questions will be accompanied with the data set. That is, the person who presents the data to you would also have some questions that they would like to answer from the data set. Typical example would be the person might be interested in knowing, please, I would like to know which product gave the highest, gave the highest amount, right? Which product gave us the highest amount from this sales period? That is a possible question that a stakeholder might possibly have, all right? We will see how to answer all of those. Now, which sales rep has made the most sales within the period the data was collected? That is a possible question that the stakeholder or whosoever presented the data to you might possibly have. Now, which region do we have the highest sale from this data set? So these are the kinds of things or questions that data analysts usually answer on a day-to-day basis with this type of data sets presented to them. Am I making sense? Okay. So once you have your data set as a data analyst, and if you're doing your analysis with any data tool, either a spreadsheet or Power BI or whatever it is, the first step that is required of you is to perform what is called data cleaning and data transformation. What is step one? Data cleaning or data transformation is a kind of the bigger name, but data cleaning is what you start with whenever you have a data set, because most times data doesn't come clean. Data is not usually clean in practice. Okay. And if there's anyone who is confused about what I just said, so what do I mean by data is not clean? Okay, I'll show you. Give me a minute. Drive. Let me go to the drive, and I think I'll find that response. Where? Let me go to. Okay, I think I'll just go to Google Sheets. I'll open Sheets, and from Sheets we should be able to see that the responses quickly. So I just want to show you what I mean by dirty data or data comes in dirty. I'll find that response here. Beautiful. Since I've done some pivot table, okay, beautiful. So since this one doesn't have anything about good. So this is a typical example of having your data set come in dirty. Now watch these two locations. See this location? Adubu, Edo State, and Adubu, Edo State. Are they the same thing? These two are the same, right? They look the same, but spreadsheet had captured this as two different entries. Now, it is possible that the person that typed in this address, gave enter space or white space after typing the address, because they look very similar. And you might be wondering, why did spreadsheet capture them as two different things? Because if spreadsheet sees these two data as one thing, it shouldn't count them separately. It will count the two of them as two. It will show you just the first name and then put 2 here, but it's counting them separately. So what this simply suggests is that there is most likely white space after one of these addresses that the person typed. And what is white space? White space is just a blank, a space when you type and you leave space. So this is what you do as a data analyst. Before you start any visualization, you will need to clean your data. Now you can see different variants of this ECBO Edo State. You can see this one has a comma. These two do not have comma, but yet you see this one starts with capital S for the state. This one starts with small s for the state. This one is with the comma. This one is with the comma without a space between the ECBO and Edo, and yet it starts with small letter. Now, spreadsheet has seen all of these things as different things rather. It sees it as different data entry, and in the real sense of it, all of these things they are the same. ECBO Edo State, it is the same location. With this one, it's the same location, but spreadsheet is seeing it as something that is different. So as a data analyst, you need to, before you start any form of analysis, you need to sit down with a data set and clean it up. Ensure that there is uniformity in your data set. So if I would make sense out of this data that you guys have filled, the form, I need to sit down and ensure that all these locations, they are uniform. Before I can tell you that, okay, XYZ number of persons registered for this training from ECBO Edo State. The other, this number of persons registered from Ibadan, this number of persons registered from Lagos. So the cleaning has to be done so that I know the accurate number of people that we have from different locations. So that is what I mean by data, having a dirty data or data cleaning. Okay, so let's start. I'll show you the processes or the steps involved. I'll start with this sample data set that I have created for this purpose. Now, the first thing I want to do is when I look at the columns and the records that are stored in each column, some of these records, they are hidden. Some of the data are hidden under the column. So what do I have to do? How can I make this, visible to me? One way to do this is to select all the columns, and this is the faster way to do it. Highlight all the columns. What do I highlighted? Click on the first column. There are several ways to highlight actually. Click on the first column, go to the last one, hold on Shift key on your keyboard, Shift key, and select the last column of interest. Okay, Moses, please, can you put down your hand? Your hand is still up. I called you to ask a question, but you didn't say anything. As the hand is up, it's attracting me, please. You can put down your hand. Thank you very much. So once you do that, that will allow you to select all the column of interest, right? The next step is for you to go ahead and expand the columns once and for all. How do you do that? The smarter way to do that is to double click. So place your arrow in between any of these lines. Can you see these white lines that appear between the columns? Any one of your choice. Just place your arrow there. It must turn to these two left-right arrows pointing outwards. Double click on that line. Double click. Double tap on your keyboard. On your mouse. Double click, and once you do that, all the columns will expand proportionally. They would expand proportionally to the highest or the longest data that is stored under those columns. So they are all expanded, and I can see my data clearly. If you understand what I just explained about expanding your column width, please give me a reaction. Thank you, Ayobami. I love to see reactions so that I know that I'm speaking to people and people can hear me. Thank you very much for the reactions. Thank you very much for the reactions. I want to assume those hands up, they actually mean reaction. Okay. Eniola, or do you have a question for me? Because your hand is up. Okay, let me explain this again before I continue. I'll share my entire screen and show us something before I continue. I guess some of those people that raised their hand, they weren't on the call yesterday while I was explaining this. So when I ask for reaction, okay, I'm sharing my entire screen, and I believe that you can see my entire screen now. When I ask for reaction, you can either give me this heart or thumbs up or this celebration, depending on your mood, right? Depending on your mood, you can give me any of these reactions that are here. And if you are not seeing this reaction window, you can turn it on from here. See? this emoji icon, when you click on it, it shows you the reaction. So this is how to give reaction, okay? It is only when you have a question or you want to draw my attention that you are allowed to raise your hand. So this is raise hand. Can you see? This is raise hand. When you want to draw my attention, I want to ask a question, you tap this button to raise hand. And once you do that, it draws my attention and then ask you to unmute your mic. But if I ask for reaction, give me any of this reaction here, depending on how you feel, okay? If you feel you don't understand something, give me thumbs down. If you are still confused or thinking about something, something I said, you can give me this thinking face. So whenever I see your reaction, I would stop and then ask you of what your concerns are outside this. But if you give me any heart or thumbs up or celebration or clapping or you're laughing, I will assume you are good. So I don't have any issue. It means you understand. But if you give me this face or this face or this one or this one, I will pause and call you to speak out for us to know your concern. All right, having said that, let's move on with the class. So I'll go back by sharing just my window and get us continued with our discussion. All right. So yeah, so this is it. Now, what will I do next as a data analyst? What's the next thing to do? The next thing to do for me to easily inspect my table, to inspect this data set, is to convert the data set to a table. I know somebody is wondering, is it not already presented on the table? No, it's not on any table. It is just on the spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet is not a table, actually. So for me to have my data set in a format that will allow me easily inspect it, I will present it on a table. Now, this is how to present your data set on a table. Just click on any cell, press Ctrl A to highlight all on your keyboard, Ctrl A, highlight all, then head on to the format option, or you can do that from insert. I think it's format. Let me see. No, format option. Under the format option, you see the convert to table menu or command. The convert to table option from the drop-down list. And the shortcut to do that is to press Ctrl, Alt, and T. If you don't want to come through the format, you can press Ctrl, Alt, and T on your keyboard. Now, before I go ahead with this explanation, let me quickly share this data set for those people who want to practice along with me. I will share a link to the data set. The link I will be sharing is just viewer's link. You will need to make a copy of it for you to be able to edit the work, because I don't want anyone to mess up with my sheet. So I will share viewer's link so that for you to work and be able to edit it, you make a copy. But before I share, let me show you how to make a copy. To make a copy, you click on File, you click on Make a Copy, and then you rename the copy to whatever you want to call it, and click on Copy. So once you do that, you would have a copy of this sheet, and you can also practice alongside with me. Is that okay? If you're happy about that, please give me a reaction. All right, Eniola is happy about that. Ayobami is happy about that. Just the two of them. Okay, Evans is happy about that. Okay, so let me just send it to only Eniola, Evans, and Ayobami. Adedola has a hand up or has their hand up. Let me get their question. So Favor, please go ahead with your question. I assume you have a question for me. Hi, Favor. Okay, so I'll still assume that maybe that was a mistake. She was supposed to give a reaction, but she raised her hand. Yes, Dorcas.
Sorry, sir. Please, I got lost a bit. I wanted to understand the instruction on that sales rep before you go ahead.
Okay, so on that, say no instruction. I'm just asking. I said I was going to share the link to this data set, and I needed people to give me a reaction about how they feel, if they're happy about it, or I should just hold my sheet and continue my work, because I like to
sir.
along.
Why with you, sir? Why with you, sir?
Okay, all right, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
So let me share the sheet now. I have explained how to make a copy, because the copy I will be sharing with you, you can't edit it until you make a copy. So look at how to do that. I'll click on share. I'll head on to restricted and say anyone with the link. So I want anyone with the link to have access to this, but I'll be giving you viewers access, just viewer access. If I give you editor access, it means that whatever editing you are doing from your part, if you alter this my sheet and you begin to make, you are going to disturb my sheet anyhow. So let me just give you viewer access. Blessed Mayor, welcome. You are late. Sorry about that. Viewer access. I'll copy the link and drop the link in the chat box. I can also drop the link in WhatsApp group, so that depending on which means you can use to gain access to the link easily. Either I'll drop the link both places. So I'm dropping the link in the chat box here, so everyone can go ahead and make a copy of the link. Make a copy of the link if you want to be able to practice along with me. I'll also drop the link in the WhatsApp group so that in case your WhatsApp is connected to your computer, you can also open it from the WhatsApp group. So here is the data set for live demo. All right. So if you have gotten access to the data set, please give me a reaction. Just give me a thumbs up. If you have been able to access the data set, give me a thumbs up. Remember, the access you have is the viewer's access, just to view. You won't be able to make any edit. For you to be able to edit it, you have to make a copy, and I've shown you how to make a copy. Thank you, Dorcas. Dorcas had given me a reaction. Elizabeth, thank you for that reaction. Who else? Who else have gained access to the sheet? Now remember, this particular training, Eniola has access to the sheet. This particular bootcamp is, yes, someone is going to say something. Ayabami, please go ahead.
How do I copy?
How do you make a copy?
Yes.
Okay, I guess you missed it when I was explaining. Let me explain again quickly. Please watch my screen.
Okay.
Watch my screen. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
So you go to File and make a copy. Once you click on make a copy, you can save it with whatever title, or you can call it your name _ sales data, Austin _ sales data for my name, and then you hit on make a copy. That's all. Once you do that, you'll be able to edit the copy you've made.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, are we good?
Yes.
Great. Now, who else is trying to practice alongside with me? Can you give me a reaction so that I know how to carry you along? Anyone? Anyone on the call? Okay, just Dorcas and Ayobami, I assume. Okay, so that's fine. Let me continue. Now that we have our data sets, everybody has access to these data sets, and they'll be able to make a copy. So this is what the next step. Remember, I said as a data analyst, before you do anything, you inspect your table. So I want to inspect this table, this data set, to ensure that it's in good shape. I'll highlight all, Control A, then convert it to a table by pressing Alt, Shift, and T. Sorry, not Alt, Shift, T. I think it's Alt. Where's the shortcut again? Control Alt T. I'll press highlight Control A, Control Alt T to convert to a table. And once you do that, your data set has been converted to a table. Now look at the preview. The way it's looking now is different from the way it was before. The way my data set is looking now is different from the way it was before. And if you don't want to use the shortcut to convert it to table, once you highlight all your data, you go to Format, you click on Convert to Table. And either ways, your data set will be converted to a table, and then it looks like this. Okay? The next step is for you to begin to inspect each column of your data set to check if there are missing values, if there are outliers or anomalies, so you can deal with those or inconsistency in your data. So how do I inspect each column? I come under the order ID, filter the order ID. How do you filter? You filter by clicking on this drop down. Please, if I'm too fast and you need me to come back on anything I've said, please just draw my attention by raising your hand. Once you raise your hand, I will come to you and attend to you. Please take note of that, because I need everybody to follow along with me. Now, when you click on this filter, it allows you to filter. So what do I want to do? So there are options. Do I want to edit column type, or I want to sort my column, or I want to filter my column? So I want to filter my column actually. So when I click on the filter option, it gives me the filter of my colon, and you can see my colon being filtered out. You see that, okay, and I have all the IDs. From this, I can just scroll through to see if all the IDs that I have on the list are well presented. And by having the correct ID, it must be ORD. It must start with ORD, as since all my IDs are presented in terms of ORD. But since this is an ID column, I think most times the ID column usually comes in clean actually. But sometimes you don't assume anything. Make sure you scroll through to inspect every single entry in your column, in that column. So, and I've inspected and everything looks good. Okay, let me just hit OK. I'm fine with that. The next column I want to inspect is the date column. I click here and check. My dates, are they well presented? Yes, the date looks good, and I think it is good to go. I don't have to do anything here. In fact, this data set is actually clean. For the name column, how are they presented? Are they all presented in the right format? Yes, they are, and I'm good to go. For the region column, is there anything that is, that is strange? Okay, I have the east, south, north, west region. Everything looks good, and we are good to go. Okay. Now let me intentionally change a particular region to, let's say, Africa. This should be region, right? When I filter, this is how to see that you have an odd one. You have the region east, north, south, west, and then Africa is on the list. This will be, oh, that means this one has an issue. When you see any odd data from your column, before deciding to change it, the first thing you need to do is to filter out that odd one to see if there are corresponding records that are attached to it before you maybe drop it, rename it, or do whatever you want to do. So this is how to filter out. Clear every selection and select only that odd guy. Click OK. Once that is done, it will filter that row. And when you look at it, say OK, then this must be a mistake, since all other region has the correct region specified. Just one entry has Africa. That means it must be a mistake. So you can go ahead and select all and then change that particular entry that has the error to whatever it is. But you must not just change by changing. There are some important, principles that guides, correcting or cleaning your data set. Safe Haven can't see the link. Safe Haven, you just joined the call, I guess, or maybe something happened. I'll copy the link and share again. I hope the link you're talking about is the link to the data set. Am I correct? Safe Haven. Okay, so I'm sending the link again. I've sent the link so you can have access to it now. All right. Blessed, check. You're welcome. So the next thing is under the product. I go to the product column and check if everything looks good. So everything under the product column also looks good. They are all spelled well, and I have the expected number of products. I mean, the expected category of products. Then, unit price. How does it? Okay, unit price is well presented. Units sold rather. The unit price has, something, is good. In fact, this data set is actually clean. There is no cleaning to be done. And it was done intentionally so that we don't have to waste so much time on the call, since there are a lot of things that I wish to talk about. Okay, now having gone through the columns and they all look good, the first calculation I'd like us to perform here is the total revenue calculation. Since we have this unit sold and the unit price, to get the total revenue for this particular product, this particular sale, all I need to do is, please, let me ask someone on the call. How do we obtain the total revenue? If you have number of units sold and unit price, how do you calculate total revenue?
We multiply.
Yes, go ahead, Ayabami.
We multiply the units sold by the unit price.
Beautiful. That is very correct. So, and how do I do that? Equal to. So I'll start by just typing my equal to sign, Ctrl Z. I made a mistake.
F2.
So equal to, good, equal to F2. In fact, you can see that Google Sheet had already suggested that formula for me. I press tab to accept it. So F2 times G2. Once I'm okay with that, what do I do? Come to your autofill handle.
Yes.
And double tap.
Yes.
So instead of clicking and drag, you can also do double clicking. I'll just double click here, pam, and then you see it to calculate everything for me. So that is a calculation done for me just at single click. Double click on the autofill handle. Do you understand? Doctor, your hand is up. Do you have a question for me?
No, I was trying to answer earlier on. Sorry, I thought I had brought it
Oh.
down. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's fine. So that is we've calculated the total revenue for this column. If you have, for those of you that have gotten access to the data set, if you have done your total revenue, can you give me a thumbs up, please? Anyone? Okay, Dorcas has done hers. Well done. Dorcas, did you convert your table to your data to table? And Ella has also done his. Thank you. Okay, good, fantastic. So when you're working with table, it's easier. All right, perfect. So what's the next thing? Let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the next step. So now our data set is complete for analysis. And then I want to begin to answer those questions that maybe the stakeholder has asked me. Now, and this will usher us into a very important concept in the field of data analytics, which is pivot table. Pivot table is one amazing table that allows for quick summary statistics and summarizing your data and creating of reports, as well as creating charts, visualizations. In fact, at the end of this training here, we should be able to create a dashboard from this data set. I hope that the time will permit us to do that. Yes, I think we have in the next 1 hour that we have, we should be able to complete that. So let's now go and let's create a pivot table. Okay, to begin to perform our summary. Please watch this carefully. Watch this very carefully, because as a data analyst, you must know how to use pivot tables. So how do you create a pivot table? Before I create my pivot table, I'd like to rename this sheet. This sheet that I'm working on, I'd like to rename the sheet as well as rename my table. I'll rename this sheet as sales data. This is how to rename. So I'm just doing this for me to explain the rename part of a sheet. To rename a sheet, right-click on the sheet and select rename. So I'll rename this as sales data. Okay. And I'll also rename my table. To rename the table, point your arrow where you can see table 1, double click right there, and rename it to whatever you want to call it. So I'm calling it sales table also, or sales. Let me call it sales table instead of sales data. So I've renamed my sheet to sales data, and I've renamed the table to sales underscore table. Okay, so I'm good with this. The next step is to create my pivot table. Now, this doesn't mean that if you don't rename this sheet and the table, you can't create pivot table. No, I just wanted to rename them so that I can refer to them, I can reference them as I move on with my analysis. All right, so let's go ahead and create a pivot table. Okay, how do you create pivot table? You create pivot table by going to the insert menu. Okay, once you go under the insert menu, you find a lot of different options, but our interest is pivot table. Select pivot table. From the pivot table dialog box that popped up, it's already it's asking data range. Where do you want to pull your data from for the pivot table you're about to create? And it has suggested the sales table. You see the reason why I renamed it so that we know what we are dealing with. And this is fine. I want to actually extract my data from the sales table. So I leave it that way. Then it's asking me, where do I want to import my pivot table? Where do I want to insert it? Do I want to insert it in a new sheet, or I want to create my pivot table in this existing sheet, which is sales data? I don't want to create my table in the existing sheet. Rather, I want to create the pivot table in a new sheet. So I leave the new sheet option checked and I click on create. And once I do that, a pivot table sheet will be created for me. So it's called pivot table 1. For those of you who are following, practicing with me, I'd like to know if there's anyone that has been able to create a pivot table by my directions. Anybody? Okay, Dorcas, well done, well done, well done. Well done, Dorcas. Any other person? Another person? Just Dorcas? Okay. Someone is saying, Enila is saying, sorry, how do you do that again, please? Okay. Enila wants me to do this again. I'll do that again. It's fine. So I'm going to, because I've created one pivot table already, I'll delete this pivot table that I've created. When I create a new one, you will see it, we record it as pivot table 2. I'll right click and delete this sheet. Once I do that, this pivot table sheet will be deleted. So it's deleted. I'm back to the initial sheet that we were working with, sales data. Please watch this again. I want to create a pivot table. I will tell you what pivot table. I've already given a brief summary of what pivot table are used for. They are used for creating summary statistics, and in fact, it allows you to summarize the data easily. That is just a summary of what pivot tables are used for. They actually allow you to summarize your data easily, to have a summary of your data. Now, how do you create it? Now, once you have your data set in your table, you don't need to select or highlight. Just head on to the insert menu. Okay, I'm on the insert menu now. Click on insert. On the drop-down list, select pivot table on the drop-down list. Once you click on pivot table, it will give you this pivot table dialog box asking you to select the range of your data. So what is your data range? My data range is the table that I have my data stored, and it has already suggested that for you, sales and table, and I want it that way. It's fine. But let's say you don't want to use the entire table for your pivot table. If you want to just choose a range, this is how to do that. You click on this, select data range, click on it, and once it pops up this particular dialog box with your cost of linking inside, you can go ahead and click and drag across the range you want to use. And once you do that, you can see that the range has changed. Click OK. And once that is done, you have changed the range from the entire sales data to just this subset. And you click create. And when you do that, it will create the pivot table. But I don't want to use the subset. I want to use the entire data. So I leave it at sales data. All right. I leave it at sales data. I want to use sales data for my pivot table. And then I go on with my sales data and say create. So once I click on create, the pivot table will be created in a new sheet. As you can see, it has numbered this one as pivot table 2. That is because I have deleted the initial pivot table that was created. Does that make sense now? If you are following, if you understand what I've just done, kindly give me a reaction. Okay, thank you for the reactions. Please, I love to see so many reactions so that I know that people are following. All right, thank you very much for the reactions. So let's continue. Now that we've created the pivot table, let me show you around this pivot table area. Once the pivot table is created, you will see the pivot table editor. Okay, it will show you the range from which you have selected your data, which is the sales data, and I mean sales table, and I'm fine with this. It will then give you some suggested summary that you may want to perform. Of course, you don't need to always go with the suggestions. You can clear suggestions if you don't want them. But I'd like us to start by looking at the suggestions as I explained. But before we do that, it also has the rows, columns, values, and filters, which I will explain shortly. And it will also give you the list of all the available columns that are on your table. They are all listed here. Order ID, the date, the customer name, the region, products, units sold, and so on and so forth. Let's start by looking at the first suggested summary that Google Sheet had done for us. Sum of units sold for each product. So if you are interested in seeing the sum of units sold for each product, just do this. As soon as you do this, imagine what just happened. Google Sheet has been able to summarize the total units of the headsets sold in the data set. We had a total of 2,247 units of headsets sold. For the keyboard, we had a total of 1,762 units sold. For the laptop, we had a total of 2,030. Monitor, 1,716, and mouse, 1,991. So imagine that your manager or stakeholder or the business owner who has this data wants to know how many number of units did we sell throughout the period of this data. Just come to pivot table, and pivot table will give you that record without stressing yourself. So imagine you want to come to this to the data set and begin to say, okay, let me look at headset or laptop. We sold 7, and you carry a calculator and punch one laptop 7, and you go again plus 11, plus 11, plus 2, plus. So that would be a whole lot of stress you're going to put yourself through to get that. Since we have pivot table, why don't you just come to pivot table and ask pivot table to do it for you? In just one click, pivot table will give you the summary, and it looks so fantastic. Do you agree with me that this looks fantastic? Of course it does. All right. Now, what if this is not the interest? What if I'm not interested in seeing the product by the sum of units sold? I want to see the sum of units sold, total revenue for each sales rep. Aha. So here I want to know which sales rep was able to sell the highest amount with a good, the highest, each sales rep, what is the revenue they made for us for the company? Just check this box. And there we have it. And there we have it. So from here, Ahmed sold 1,814 units of the products. And this is the revenue that the Ahmed made for us. 261,845 naira. Let's say okay with naira now. Grace sold 2,126 units of products, and she made 276,580. Lola sold 2,028 products, and she made 296,555. So with this, you can already tell quickly how many units of products that were sold by each sales rep and the total amount that this sales rep made for us from this pivot table. Do you see how awesome pivot table can be? With just a click, you're able to get some sense, make some sense out of your data. And then what if that's not your interest? What if you're interested in seeing the sum of units sold, total revenue for each product? You tap this and it gives you that information. Right now, we have the product name, we have the sum of units and the total revenue. Okay. And from this, you can quickly see that laptop as a product is the one that gave us the highest revenue. Even though laptop is not the highest number of products sold, the highest number of products sold is what? Headsets, which is 2,247. But the highest number of products that give us the highest revenue is laptop, because we made a total sales of 1,015,000. 1,015,000. That is the total revenue sold we made from laptop, from selling 2,030 laptops. Am I communicating? So this is how you begin to make sense. You start getting insight from your data set by creating pivot tables. So what if you are not interested in seeing the suggestions as presented by Google Sheets? You want to create your pivot table, the pivot table for yourself or of your own. Now let's now explain what rows, columns, values, and filters mean. Whatever you would like to see row-wise is the field you pick and put in the rows parts. Once you click on add, you will see the different columns. So let's say I want to see the sales rep on the row. Of course, the row, you see the sales rep there. And for each sales rep, I want to see the number of, or I want to see the amounts. No, let's start with the number first. The number of products that each of these sales rep had sold so far. Now, I will put the product as the column. Let me go to columns and select products. Now, out of these different products that this sales rep has sold, how many headsets did Ahmed sold? How many keyboard did he sell? How many laptop did he sell? And so on and so forth. I'll come to values. Under values, I want to see the number of products. So I'll choose product again under values. Select products. And then it will show you count of. So you can see any of these by any summary. Yeah, Adeniji, your hand is up. You have a question for me before I continue? Hi, Adeniji Temitokwe, do you have a question for me? If you're speaking, your mic is muted. I can't hear you. But if that was a mistake, please you can put your hand down so I can continue. Okay, let's assume that was a mistake. Now you can do this based on, you can do a sum of the product. You can do count A, which allows you to count even, text. You can do count. You can do count unique, count average. You can do average, maximum, and so on and so forth. So what I want to do is count. I want to see the count of, what is that? No, product sum. I want to see the number of, okay, what just happened? My values, products, summarize, defaults. Let me take this out again and do product again. Select values and select product. So I want to see the count of products, or count A. It's actually count A because product is, what is it called? Product is text. So the other time it showed 0 because I was trying to count a text. If you want to count text in spreadsheet, you use count A and not count. So count is used to count numbers. Now, since they are text, I can tell you at a goal by looking at my table that the number of products that each of these sales rep had sold so far. Ahmed sold 36 headsets. He sold 37 keyboard. He sold 45 laptops. He sold 36 monitor and 54 mouse. And that means he has sold a total of 208 products so far for Ahmed. Then Grace, I can look at the total number of products that Grace has sold. And from this list, I can see that Ngozi is the sales rep with the highest number of products sold. So she has sold so far 213 products. And of that 213, there are 48 headsets, 35 keyboards, 49 laptops, 35 monitors, and 46 mouse. Guys, does this make sense? Can you see the power of pivot table and how you can begin to make sense from a data set that was presented on the table initially? But with this pivot table, you begin to see light into your data. So this is where pivot table becomes really interesting. Okay, now what if you want to see these particular numbers by the amount sold and not just the number of products? You want to see which sales rep had sold the highest amount for each of these products. I'll come to value and remove value, right? And then I want to do this by the total revenue. By total revenue, click on total revenue, and I'll be looking at the sum of the total revenue. So when you do this, now this will tell you how much revenue each sales rep made for each product and the grand total. So we can see already at a goal, at a glance, that Ngozi, who sold the highest number of products, is the same sales rep who had the highest revenue generated. She made a total of 3,777,720 naira. That is Ngozi for you. Then the sales rep that made the least revenue is Michael. Michael sold 2,574,000. No, let me see. Yes, 256. Wait, is that 3 million? 1, 2, 3. No, it's not actually 3 million. It's 377,720. So Michael sold 257,455, and that's the least sales rep from my data. And then you can begin to look at the amount of products sold by each of these sales rep as shown on my pivot table. Are we making sense? Please, are we making sense? Beautiful. Now you can look at this data set from any dimension, from any angle, by selecting the pivot table, the column that you want to look at, and all of those one by one. Now, what is now the most mind-blowing aspect of this whole data analysis aspect that we'll be looking at? Right now, I want us to create a dashboard. I want us to go beyond looking at this data on pivot table and then looking at them on charts, which will blow your mind as to the insight you can get from a data set when you are able to make your dashboard from any given data. I'll create a new sheet for my dashboard. So to add a new sheet, I'll go ahead and I don't want to make a duplicate. What did I do? I don't want to make a duplicate. I'll just go ahead and click on this plus sign to add a new sheet. When I tap on the plus sign, a new sheet will be added, and that's the sheet. So from here, I'll right click and click on rename. So I want to call this dashboard. I'll call this dashboard. Okay, so right now you will see how we will make a lot of sense from that data. From the table, we've created pivot table, and now from the pivot tables, we are going to create beautiful looking dashboard. So to start, I'd like to, I don't want all these grid lines. I want to turn this grid line off. To turn off the grid line, go to view, and you will find the grid line. Point your arrow to show. Under view, point your arrow to show, and then select grid lines to uncheck the box. And then my grid line will just go off. So now we are having just a blank white space. All right. Now from this blank white space, I need to give my grid line a color. Let me try to work with the color combination of what color will I work with? Let me see. Let me look at our flyer for this program to get inspiration on the color to use. Okay, I think I'll use since the color combination is orange and blue, which is DataFi's color. I think I'll have to use DataFi's color and also DataFi's logo. So quickly, my dashboard, I would like my dashboard to have a title. So let me just quickly do this modification. I would click on this fill color. I want to give my background. I'll choose Control A to highlight all. Control A to highlight all. Then come to this place and choose the color for the background. Let's use this orange for my background. Is this looking fine? Okay, let me just use something brighter. Is this okay? This is fine. This is fine for now. Okay. Now, what do we call our dashboard? Let's call it sales rep dashboard. Now, I have selected columns. Okay, I think I should turn on my grid line because I want to explain some things to you guys as we move on. Let me turn on my grid line. I'll put it off later. So I want to merge these cells so that I can put my title here from C1 down to G2. So I highlighted those cells from C1 down to G2. That is where I would like to put my title. And I need the cells to be a single cell by merging them. So how do I merge? You see the merge icon here, this merge icon. If you can see the icon that my arrow is pointing at now, please give me a reaction. That is where to merge your cells. Beautiful. Dorcas can see it, Omataya can see it, Eniola can see it. Awesome. So I click on that merge cell and then it merges the cells. It just makes it one single cell. So whatever I type in there would appear as a single cell. Sales analytics or analysis dashboard. Let me just call it sales analysis dashboard. Okay. That's the title I would like to give to my dashboard. Now, I want to make this title bigger and centralized. Okay. To make it bigger, you can increase the font size by tapping on this plus sign, keep tapping, keep tapping, keep tapping. The font will be increasing, or you can go ahead and type the number you want right in here. So the font size is size 26, and I like to make it centralized. Come over here to align it center, and I want the title to be bold, make it bold. And what else do I want? I want to change the color of that particular title, just that space. I want to give it, maybe I should give it blue or something. Is this okay? No, I don't think this combination makes sense. Let me use dark blue. This is better. Then I would like my text to be white. I want the text to be white so that it's more visible to read. Okay. I want my text to be white. It is selected. That cell is still selected. Then I click on this font color and make it white. And this is looking great. Okay. This is looking great. So I want the text to be, aligned vertical. This aligned at the middle. I select this middle and then the text is aligned middle. Awesome. This is looking fantastic. So the next thing I need to do is to go ahead and begin to populate my dashboard. But before then, I want to bring in the DataFi logo. So to have it somewhere by the corner of this dashboard, I go to insert. So this will also help you learn how to insert pictures. Go to insert and I scroll down to images. So I want to insert image to over cells. I select the option for over cells, not in a cell. Click on image over cell. Then from the pop-up, I need to go and search for the image from wherever it's located. I know you can't see my screen again, but don't worry. Once I get in the image, you will see it on my sheet. So I've imported the image right here into the spreadsheet. So this is the image, okay? This is the image. So I can move the image around wherever I want it to be and then resize the image. So this is the logo I would like to have on my dashboard, okay? Here's the logo, and the logo can be placed right here. All right, I want to increase the size a little bit more. Great. This is fantastic. Okay, I think I should. Okay, let's continue. Now the next thing to do is to turn off my grid line. Since we have worked with grid line, I want to put it off now. Go to view, show grid line turned off. Now we have we have the page ready for our dashboard creation. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, let's come back to our pivot table. I'd like us to quickly create measures, some KPIs. KPIs are numbers that shows you something. Now back to sales data. Under sales data, let's calculate a KPI that will show us the total number of units sold, just the total number of units. That is one. I also like to do a KPI that will show us the total revenue generated. That is two. I like to do a KPI that will show us total products sold, like the unique products that was sold. That is three. I like to do a KPI of the total unique number of sales rep that we have. That is four. Please take note of what I said. I need someone to note it down. I'll mention it again. I'd like us to do a KPI. KPI simply stands for key performance indicators. So these are indicators. At least if I know the total number of products sold, that will tell me whether we should add more products to our item list or not. So one of the KPI I want us to measure is total unique products that we have sold. Unique products. Please, someone help us write it down. Secondly, I want like us to do a KPI of total units of products sold. Total units of products sold. That's another KPI. I like us to do the total revenue generated. That's the total revenue generated for the period, and a KPI of the total distinct unique sales rep that we have. Total unique sales rep that we have. So those are the KPIs I like us to measure. And for these KPIs, I will do the KPI using what is called this pivot tables. Okay, I'll do the KPI using pivot tables. So let me create a new pivot table. Now, this pivot table I have here, I would remove this total revenue. I'll remove this products, and I'll remove this sales rep. Okay, we want a count of sales rep, right? So since we want a count of sales rep, I'll leave sales rep, and let's do sales rep, and value should be count of sales rep. What am I doing? Sales rep. I know the count of sales rep is the unique count of sales rep is actually 4. So I'm not going to use that as my value. Let me see what I did here. Count A. No, that's not what I intend to do. So what I intend to do is to count how many sales rep we have. All right, how many sales rep we have. So to do that, let me think of the best way to do that without creating a pivot table. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I can do that directly from my table actually. Okay, I can do that directly from my table and just use a function to count the total unique sales rep we have. A function. So this I think the KPIs, instead of using pivot table for my KPIs, I'll just use a direct function. Yes, Doctor, your hand is up.
Yeah, sorry. How did you clear your pivot table without deleting it?
Okay, so to clear my pivot table without deleting it, all you need to do is to just delete all of these options you've chosen. For the row, if you chose a row, simply cancel it to go out. Yes, just cancel those options. Okay, so for the KPIs, I would like us to just write a formula to do a count and to do the formulas here. Let's come here. Now there's a formula that's like distinct count. Let me see. Distinct count. Let me see count. Count unique. Okay, this is it. Can you see count unique function? There's a function in Google Sheets that is titled count unique. So I want to count unique what? What do I want to count? I want to count from. Okay, now this is the beauty of working with a table. So all I need to do is to select the title of your table, and okay, let me say count from I2 to the bottom. What's the last data set? Count I2. I want to count. Sorry, I'm trying to check out something here. Let me see if this will work out for me. Nope. Let me remove this bracket. Nope. Okay. I'm looking for a way to not use not scroll down. I'm trying to get a very I'm trying to do look for a shortcut. So if you look at this, it says, yeah, count the number of unique values in a list of a specified value or range. So what do I want to count? I want to count from this I1 down to the end, And to get to the end, hold Shift Control and your down arrow key. Then close your bracket and hit Enter. So once I do that, what do you see here? You see 5. So this is a unique sales rep. So you can give it a title, unique number of sales rep, unique number of sales rep. All right. I'll take that formula again. I'll take the formula again. This is the formula. Let me undo my action. Undo. Let me type it here. Unique number of sales rep. Unique number of sales rep. Just watch this. Now, this is where I would like to enter this value here under cell L. I put equal to, the formula is called count unique. Type the formula, count unique. Okay. Once you type the formula count unique, the next parameter to give to it is the range of values that contains that item you want to count. And the values are stored under I:I. So once you select maybe the first cell or the first 2 cells, hold Shift on your keyboard, Control, and your down arrow key. It will highlight down to the end. And once that happens, you'll notice that Google Sheet will automatically change it to the name of the title of the table and the name of the column. Close your bracket and hit Enter. So once you do that, it gives you the unique number of sales rep we have on the data set, which is 5. If you understand what I just did, give me thumbs up. Thank you, Dorcas. All right, thank you everybody. Now let's go on to the next one. The next one we want to calculate is what? The unique total number of units sold, right? Total units sold. So total units sold is going to be equal to, there's a formula called, there's a Google Sheet formula called sum, to sum things. I'll use the sum function now, SUM, sum, open your brackets. Then what do I want to sum? I want to sum from F to the end. So hold Shift, Control, and select the end. It will automatically convert it to the name of the table and the column name. Close the bracket and hit Enter. So this is the total units sold. The total units sold, 9,746. What is this other metric we want to calculate? We want to calculate the unique product sold. Unique number of products sold. Okay, use the same count unique equal to count unique. Once you put count unique, what do you want to count? I want to count all the unique products that were sold. Press Enter, close the bracket. Now don't say, oh, can't I just see the products sold by just counting them here? That is not the best way to do it, because your data can grow, which means that a new entry might enter. And with this, for the fact that you are using this formula to perform your calculation, when a new product enters the table, it's going to be updated in this formula we're entering here. That is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing here. Okay. So the last column I want to check is the total sales, the total revenue generated. Total revenue generated. So total revenue is equal to, I'm going to do a sum of all the total revenue we have here and hit Enter to get that sum. So these are the formulas we have used: the sum of total revenue, the unique products sold, total units sold, and total sales rep we have on our data set. So now I would like to present it on a card or on cards. Okay, want to bring them to dashboard, but present them on cards. So let me quickly show you how to achieve that. I'll start by looking at total units sold. Okay, or let's do it in this order. No, let me do total sales rep, total number of sales rep we have, total product we have, then total units sold, and total revenue generated. So how do I enter a card? Watch this. I'll click on insert, then select charts. Let's wait for the chart to pop up. Once the chart is created, it will create a chart for you, but I don't want a pie chart. What I want is a card. Come under the chart type, scroll down to the end, and you will see card, scorecard. Select scorecard charts. Once you do that, you find the number presented right here. Okay, the number is presented right here. And what do you want to do? In fact, these calculations we've done. Let me see data range. Okay, the value I want to use K2. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's just work with this. So we have unique. This is the card we've created, unique number of sales rep, and the value is showing us 5 right there. So what I'm going to do now is I will take this card from here and take the card to my dashboard. Control X to cut it. So I just press Control X here to cut. When I come to my dashboard, I'll paste the card here using Control. Sorry, I don't think I have cut that card. Yes, Omotayo, your hand is up. Let me make a copy instead. What's the question?
Good evening, sir. Please, can you
Sorry, your voice is really low. Come again.
I said, can you recap that how you get the cards or that thing?
The card. Yes, sure, I'll do that. Let me delete the card and do it again. So I'm deleting my card. Now, I placed my cursor, my arrow on the 5 that we've calculated, right? Just this 5. Or select whatever you want to select. Then go to insert menu, and click on charts under the drop-down list. Once you select charts, a chart will be created and be inserted automatically. And Google Sheets created a pie chart for us, but we don't want to show a pie chart. We want to use a card. So come to this setup under the chart editor option, scroll down and select total. This is called scorecard. Select scorecard, and once you do that, the card will be presented right here. Okay, so you can go ahead and reduce the size of the card, then click on copy and move the card to your dashboard. Paste it here on your dashboard. Then you can move the card to the location you would like to see it appear. This is my card here. All right. Now the card is not presenting the value. Yes, Dorcas, your hand is up.
Okay, mine is presenting value and not text like you have it. So I'm wondering if we're doing the same thing, and it's not transferred. Yeah.
Did you select? Did you highlight these two texts like this? Dorcas, did you highlight anything before importing your card?
Oh, okay. I just highlighted the number, not both the number and the text. So I need to do both.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I also did the same. I also just clicked on the number and it gave me that. Don't worry, there's a way we can format the card. Don't worry. Let's format it now. Even myself, the card is not well presented the way I want it to be. So let's format it. To format the card, you click on these 3 dots, select the 3 dots, then select the edit option right here. And once that is up, you ensure that the data range is well selected. So the data range for my card is speaking from K2 to L5. Let's check if that is actually the range. What I want for my data is just K2 to L2, right? K2 to L2. That's what I want. So let's go and choose the correct range. So I'll change this from K2 to L5. Let's go back to edit, charts. So I'll change it from K2 to L5 to K2 to K2 because I just want the value and that. So once I do that, you notice that the key value is showing K2 and the base value is showing what? L2. But I want my key value to actually be L2 because that is where my value is. And my base value of course, I'm not using anything for my base value. I will take off the base value. So my key value is actually what I'm interested in, which is what? L2. That is 5. The 5 shown on my chart. Now, base value is showing 0. Don't worry, I'll take care of this base value. We'll take it out. We don't need it at the end of the day. So once you do that, you come to your customize, and let's customize the charts. From the chart style, I like to choose a color for my background color. I want to use this orange. This is too shouty. I don't like that. It's too shouty. Let me use what color can I use? Should we leave it as white? Is white okay like this? Let me see. Let me try to. Let's see this color. No, that is not looking good. Or should we use blue? Should we continue to our blue? This is too dark. Let me see this orange color on our. Where is it? This orange color on our logo. Nope. I'm trying to decide on the color to use actually. So this is what you do when you're creating a dashboard. You continue to choose the color until you are satisfied with the color you have picked. I want to use a combination of blue and orange. If I stick with orange, is this orange too loud? Is this too loud? Let's try it out. At the end, we would see if it's loud or not. Then the border color, I'll use the same orange for my border color, right? Then the fonts, I want to use this. Can I use wide? Let's see how wide it look like. This is too big. Let's leave it at area. Let's leave it as area. That is the chart style. Then the key value. So the key value, I'm leaving area. I can make it bold now. I can make it centralized. And what else? The size, I leave it as auto. And yes, this is fine. Then the base value. The base value, I don't want this base value. So what will I do? So I don't want that base value to show, right? This is what I'm going to do. I will change the base value color to be the color of the card. So you can see it's no longer showing again. So the base value is turned off, right? Because I have given it the same color of my card. Or is this showing? I think it's showing kind of showing. Let me use this one. Okay, great. So it's no longer showing again. So that is fine. Then let me reduce this a little bit. And what else? So this is cool. This is cool. All right. Now we have our card. Let us add a title to our card. We call this card, what number is this? I think this is the number of unique rep, right? Unique number of unique sales rep. That is sales rep. That is the title of our card. Number of unique sales rep. So let's choose the color, the area. I want the font to be small, so I make it like font size 12. I want it to be centralized. I want the color of that to be, let's use black. That is fine. And that's okay, right? What else? I think that is okay. Great. Is this looking good? This is not looking good in my eye. I don't know what's happening. Okay, I think I know what to do. I will remove the color. I'll remove the background color of my card. It's not looking too fine for me. I'll remove the background color and just leave my outline color. And I want to increase the border. Unfortunately, I cannot increase the border here. Let me look at it now. Okay. What do you think, please? Is this better? I'm finding it difficult to choose. Okay, it's better like this, right, Lucas? Okay. Let me now, so that base value is not showing again. Let me take out. In fact, let me take out the base value from here. Base value. I don't want anything as my base value. I want this thing to be out. Sorry, I mistakenly deleted my card. Edit charts. Base value remove. Yes. I don't want a base value. Good. So I've taken out the base value so that at least this number can have some space to breathe. So if we do this, what can we... this card is not looking fine for me. What is happening? Why am I not satisfied with my card? Is this okay? Okay, let us work with this so that we don't waste so much time. Let's work with this. Let me choose my font color. Let me make the color blue. Let me make the color blue. The font color, instead of leaving it as black, I'll make it this blue, this dark blue, and I will make I'll make it dark blue. Let's leave it this way for now. We'll come back to it later. Okay. So now that I'm satisfied with this card, so it means that every other card, I'll just make a copy and paste, then change the location. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. So I've pasted this card, then move it here, move it closer to it. Then what is the next one that I want to choose? That's the next value is saved on what? I want to do unique number of products on L4. Let's come back here. I'll change the location to L4, come to edit charts, and change the location to L4. So my data should be on from K4 to L4. All right, that's my data range, and I've selected L4. So this 5 you see here is actually the number of unique products. Let me change the title, the card title. This is number of unique products for the second one. Number of unique products. All right, great. So we move on to the next card. We're going to paste again. We've copied before, don't forget. I'll paste again and move this card close to the other one. So here, what is the range? The range for this one is what? Let's do the total number of units sold. That is L3. L3. Come back here. Change the location of this data to L3 from K3 to L3 and press enter. Aha. So you can see that number. This is change the title. Go to card. Change title to number of what? Total number of products sold, right? Total products sold. Total products sold. So this is total products sold. Then finally, we want to have paste again. So I think I have to move my cards to the left, a little bit to the left. Select, hold shift to select all of them and move them to the left. Great. So I want them here. Awesome. So let's have the total revenue. Move it here. Let's have the total revenue. Let me see where total revenue is saved. So total revenue is saved where? Under L5. So come back to your dashboard, change the location, click here and edit charts. Change this thing to K5 to L5. Press enter. And we have our total revenue. Okay. Now, for total number of products sold and total revenue, the number is looking so big. Like, I don't like the way it's presented. So I want to use some formatting on my total products sold. I will come to key value. Under key value, I'm going to choose for the base, for the key value, not base value. For the key value, I'm going to choose, key value, this key value. I'm going to choose scale factor. Since the number is in 1,000, so I want to use a scale factor of 1,000. And here it's giving me 9.75, okay, which is fine. Now I want to also use some let me see, some prefix, base value, not base value. Okay, I think this one allows you to use a prefix. I want to use like something K. Scale factor, this auto. Formats. Okay, I want to say 9.75K, which means 9.75 thousand. So I'm going to use under number format, I'll choose custom. Then for suffix, I'll put K. Okay, now this is looking beautiful. What do you think, guys? What do you think? So when somebody sees 9.75K, they know that, okay, this is 9.75 thousand, right? So we've sold 9,075 products. Then for this unique sales, I also want to put a scale factor of how many thousand? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A scale factor of 1,000,000. Yes, 1,000,000. Then from my data, I want to use a custom. So here I want to use Naira because this is in currency. I'll choose my Naira symbol. I'll choose my currency symbol and put Naira there. So this is Naira. And I also wanted to have M. So this will tell you that this is in million. So 1,047,000. I mean 1.47 million. Does it make sense, guys? So this is our KPIs. We have presented our KPIs well. And I think I would have to because these values are looking so big. Maybe I'll remove the bold. I don't want it to be bold again. Oh, is this one better? Let's remove the bold because it's looking so bold. Okay, I think it's fine like this. Let me just remove the bold. Okay, it's fine like this. Great. So awesome. Now I'm done with my cards and I think I'm satisfied with the way my cards are looking. All right. The next thing is to begin to put up your charts. Yes, Omata, your hand is up. Do you have a question for me?
Under that unique sales rep, I think you have not changed that heading.
Which one?
I don't know if you understand. Like you have not.
Which one?
Unique sales rep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sales rep.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't change the title. That is the title should be under title. The title of this one should be total revenue. Total revenue. Okay. This is not spelled correctly. Yeah, total revenue. So total revenue is what we should have there, and not unique sales. Thank you very much for that. All right. So this is cool. This is absolutely cool. Do I have any base value here? Okay, no, I don't have base value. This is absolutely cool. Now, next is to begin to bring our chart now. So what is the first thing I would like to see? Let's come here. So let's create a chart that will show the total products, total number of products sold, distribution of products sold. Let's create a chart that will show us that. And I would love to, since there are just how many products, unique products sold are how many? There are 5 products. Let's use a bar chart for that. Let me create a bar chart for that. But I will start by doing a pivot table. Watch this. I come to rows. My rows will be products sold. Then I come to values. My values will be the number of products sold. Okay, so this is what I will use for my bar chart now. Then I'll highlight these 2 columns down to B2. I will not include the grand total. I'm not including the grand total. So once I do this, I'll click on insert and select chart. So right now, once the chart is created, so it has created a card for me because I created card previously. I'll select the card and change the card to a bar chart because I intend to create a bar chart for this. I'll create a bar chart. So this is the bar chart I want to see. I want to put on my dashboard. So this bar chart is showing you the number of products sold. Then I'll make a copy of this bar chart, go to my dashboard, and place it there. Can you see the beauty of a dashboard now? The dashboard will begin to show you in what's it called now? In a chart view, in a visualization form, how your data is doing. So from here, I can see already at a glance, I can see the products that we have sold the most. I think it's mouse. Yes, we've sold mouse the most. No, we've sold headsets the most. So you can see that I'm finding it difficult to even pick the one we have sold the most because of they look similar. So how do I ensure that at a glance someone can tell which product we've sold the most? I can do that by turning on the labels on this card. Just come to your edit, come over here, and choose data label. Go to custom, and let's see under series. I think we'll find data label. Yes, data labels. Turn it on. Once you turn on data labels, you will see the numbers showing right here. Well, other formatting will be done later. For now, let us just leave it like this and create all the charts that we want to create. Then we can then format it at the end of all the once we have done creating the chart. The next thing I would like to see, I would also love to see the distribution by region. How did we get these sales for different regions? So for me to do that, I'll create a new pivot table. Okay, so let me delete this chart since I've taken this, I've made a copy there. Now, how do I create a new pivot table? Remember, if you delete this pivot table or if you change it, this chart that you have created here will also be deleted. So what do I then do? Not to delete the pivot table, but to create a new one. So what I will do is I'll select the product name, copy, Ctrl+C to copy, then paste it elsewhere. Just paste it elsewhere, Ctrl+V to paste. So I have duplicated that pivot table, but this time around, I want to see the number of distribution of the region. So under rows, I will choose my region. Then under values, I will choose the count of region. All right. So this is the count of region. Now I'd like to see this value on a pie chart. I'll select the range of data set I want to create, then go to insert. Under the insert, I'm going to choose charts and select pie chart. Okay, pie chart is already created for me. So this is a pie chart and this is looking fantastic. I'll change the color. The colors later to your dashboard and paste your pie charts right here. So you can now reduce the size of the pie charts and make other changes or modifications later. But for now, let's just drop the pie charts here and continue with our charts, all the charts we want to create. So our dashboard is taking shape gradually. It's taking shape gradually. Then I move on back to my pivot table. The next, I can delete this pie chart because I have made a copy already. So let's see from this place. What else? Okay, I think since we have a date column, I think I would love to see the sales, right? The revenue, like how much we make each day or over time. I want to see sales over time. So I'll come back to my pivot table, make a copy of this pivot table that I've created and paste it anywhere. I want to paste this here. Then I will make a pivot table of the sales over time. So the rows is going to be dates. The rows is going to be what? Dates. And the value will be the sum of total revenue. Okay, so this is what I want to see. So I want to see a pivot table of these dates. Wow, this is very long. What am I seeing? Very, very long. Okay, this is really long. Well, it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'll select highlight all because it's a daily data. So it gives me in terms of daily data, highlight all. And there's something I will mention here. The time is really fast spent. I have just 2 minutes to end this meeting. Wow. Highlight all and click on insert. Highlight all, click on insert, select charts. So this time around, now whenever exactly, what's it called? Google Sheets just gave me what I wanted to see. Whenever you're creating a date-related the visualization, it's always good to use a line chart. So Google Sheets already selected a line chart for me. Now I'll make a copy of this line chart, copy, then I'll paste it right here in my dashboard. Paste. Okay. So you can see the trend of sales over time. Can you see the trend? See how the thing is going up and down over time. Then I'll bring this particular line trend and drop it here. Later, we would make an adjustment. We're going to modify this later. So what else do I want to see? I like to create a bar chart or a column chart of what? The products. Have you done products? Yes, let's do column chart of products. No, I think I've done products. Let's do the column chart of what now? Let me see what's remaining. I've done for products. I've done for region. We've seen the dates. Okay, let's do a column chart of the revenue generated by the what's it called now? By the agents. So revenue generated by agents. I'll delete this chart since I have made a copy of it already. Okay, then I'll make a copy of this particular pivot table that I've created. Copy, paste it here. So I'm going to delete the content of this current pivot table, and I'd like to see distribution of the sales rep by the total revenue they made for the company by total revenue. Okay, so let's visualize this on a bar chart or a column chart, anyone. Select this, insert, and click on chart. Once this is done, I don't want a pie chart this time around. Since we have one pie chart already, I'll change the type of chart to, let's use column or bar chart. Let me just choose bar chart. All right, so here's the bar chart. I'll click on this guy and copy the charts, head on to my dashboard section, paste the chart right here. So let's modify this one. So far, so good. Let's modify this so that we can end this session, reduce the size, and then place it wherever you want it to be. All right, all good. Now, our dashboard is now taking shape, right? But before we go on, I'd like to modify this chart. So for the column chart, quickly, I click here, edit chart. Let's see how to edit this column chart. So go to customize, chart style, under the chart style. So we want to use the same color we used for the other chart. I'm using, this is not what we used. This is too shouty. Yeah, this is the color we're using. I select that color, and then for my text, the border, I choose the same color for the border, right? Then I don't want to use the 3D compare mode. Do you want to compare anything? Let me see. No, I'm not comparing anything. Let's move on to, so I'm done with the chart style. Let's move on to chart title. So I want this to be called, I want the chart title to be called distribution of products or product. Let me just call it product sold. Product sold. Okay, that is the title of my chart. Then I want it to be I want the color to be what color will I use? Let us use the same black we used for the other one, right? And the font size should be 12. I don't want it to be too big. 12 is good, or 12 is too small. Let's use 14. No, 12, 14 is fine. Then let's come to this, my horizontal axis. I don't want this title. I'll take it out. So it should just be blank so that there'll be space for my chart. I'll come to my vertical axis. I don't want the title. I'll take it out so that there'll be space for my chart. So this is fine. Okay, that is awesome. All right, then this grid lines showing. Let's go to series. For series, I've taken this out. Dashes. Okay, let's leave it as custom. What else do I want to see on my card? Okay, I think everything here looks good. The line color, everything here looks good. Then, what else do I want to change here? Legend. Everything here looks good. Say horizontal axis. I don't want it to show any axis. Okay, this looks fine. The vertical axis. I think everything looks good. So this is fine now. This is fine the way it is, but I need to change the color of my bars. I don't want this blue. So let me go back to my, to change the color of the bars, you will do that from this series. Is this series? Let me see, not series. Legend, coming, grid lines and ticks. I don't want, okay, not here. I don't want these ticks. Let's see under, say, I think it's under, or is it under charts and title? No. Under series, count of products. Let's see, field color. Let me choose, what blue are we using? I think we're using this blue. Where's the blue? This one? Yeah, that's the blue we're using. So that's it. So you do it under field color. Okay, so this is looking fine. I think this is good like this. Yeah, this is fine. So do the same thing here. Come here, edit this chart. I hope we are still together. So this, at the point of editing your charts, you just have to be thinking as you're editing. Thank you for the reaction, Yola. If you're still here, just give me a reaction. Thank you for that. So I've edited this. The border color, I want it to be the same color. Okay. What else? Let's go to the pie chart. Now for the pie chart, let's see the slice label. No, I'm not doing anything here. let's say donut. I love donut. I want to make it donut like 50%. Aha, I love donut chart. This what just happened. I've given it 50% donut chart inside, and that is fine. So for my pie slice, I will change this color. I want to use, I'll start with the dark blue, this dark blue. Then for the east, for the north, I will change this north color to this variant of blue. For this, I'll change, that is this variant, this color. Okay, this is fine. For the south, I'll change this color to this color, this light blue, which is awesome. Then for the west, I'll change the west to, what color should I change the west to? Let me see if I can use one of these colors. Which color should we use for the west? Let's use this. Okay, no, they look very similar, so it doesn't, they look very similar. Let's use, is this fine? Guys, I think this is fine, right? Please give me a reaction if you think it's okay. I don't want to, yeah, this is fine. I think they look very, yeah, this is okay. So let's change the title of my charts. Where's my chart title? The chart title should be called distribution, or let's say sales by region. Sales by region. Let's call it sales by region. And the font size should be 14. I think we use 14 for the other one. Yes, this is fine. And the color, we use this black, and that is okay. Great. So our dashboard is looking really beautiful now. Can you see that it's coming out gradually? All right. So we then go for the total revenue. Come here, choose edit. Sorry, I know that we are behind schedule already. 6 minutes behind schedule. Just give me like 15 more minutes. Please, if you want to continue, give me thumbs up. Or if you want us to end, of course, you can stop here. But I want us to complete this dashboard. If you want me to continue, give me thumbs up. All right. Thank you very much for your reaction. Great. Thank you very much, everyone. So let's quickly edit this one. I come to customize, go to chart style. The color is this color, and the border is the same color, right? The border is same color. And what else? So we'll go to chart title. The title is going to be sales by sales by sales rep. Sales by sales rep. Okay, that's the title. And I want to use the same font 14 because you have to use everything you're doing must be uniform. Use the same black that we use for others. And I want it to be left aligned. It's fine where it is. All right. Series. Am I doing anything with series? I don't think I'm doing anything with series. So, okay, the series. Let's change the color to this same blue. I think this is the blue we're working with, right? Is it? Is it the same color of blue you're working with? I think it's the same color of blue you're working with. Yeah. Then let's also turn on the data label so that at a glance someone can see the numbers. Turn on data labels so the numbers are showing. These numbers, they look really big. I'll have to change the position of the numbers. I want it to be inside top, inside end. Yeah, but it is very big. Let me change the size of the labels to say 10. This 10 itself is too, the 10 is still big, but I think we can leave it that way, right? Or let's make it, let's see if I can change it to a vertical inside. How do I, let me see if I can rotate it. What else? Value. Okay. So I think the reason why it's showing this large, let me see if we can format it. Let's see, can we actually format it? No, it doesn't give us the option to format like a card to make it a scale of a number. Would have made it scale of, let's say 10K or something like of that nature. Okay, well, it's not so bad. Let's still work with this. Let's work with this since that there is nothing we can do. We have limited control over this value. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing. So this sales rep and this sum of total revenue, I want to turn it off. So we can turn that off from this chart title so that we'll have space. Here I will choose vertical axis. I'll delete this sales rep. So we have space there. Then I'll choose horizontal axis and I'll delete, so I'll choose the vertical axis and I'll delete sum of total revenue so that we have space here. So the chart now have enough space to breathe. Okay, this looks good. Fantastic. Next, let's work on our line chart. For the line chart, I click on this same place, edit chart. Now from the edit chart option, go to customize, choose your chart style, change the background to the same color, and change the outline to the same color, right? Then, what else do we want? I think that is fine like that. I want to use my title and axis. Let's change it as total revenue, trend of, or should we call it trend of total revenue? Total revenue by trend of total revenue. Let me just call it trends, just not to waste so much time thinking about a title. Trend of total revenue. Okay. Oh, sorry, this is vertical axis. This title, I want it to be the title of my chart. I copy this. So vertical axis, I don't want anything on the vertical axis actually. Then the chart title is what I want to use as, trend of total revenue. Then the horizontal axis, I don't want anything to be on the horizontal axis. Already we know it's date. So that is fine that way. And my line, I think I would love to use can we leave it as blue? Well, we can leave it as blue, not to make, waste so much time. I can change that line chart from here. I can change the line chart from the line itself, from series, I think. Yes, I'll change the line here. What if we use this color? How will it look like? No, it's off. It's too off. What if I'm trying to, no, this is not even making sense. What if we use this one? Blue. Okay, well, this is not bad. But this is not bad. Let's just work with this. And yeah, so okay, this is my title. I didn't reduce the size of the title. Let's reduce the size of the title because everything has to be the same. Chart title. I want to use the title of my charts. I want to use the chart title. I'll use font size 14, and I'll use this color, and it's looking super amazing. All right, now we can position our dashboard in such a way that will make sense. Let me move this somewhere here. Okay, and move this somewhere here. Bring my line chart to be somewhere at the middle, like this. Watch the way I'm formatting my dashboard. Place it somewhere here. Then I can now bring my, okay, I can bring these charts, or do I put this one top? So sometimes you have to begin to position, but as you're positioning your chart, you have to align them, right? You have to align them well and group them well according to some grouping, according to some categories, the way we group your chart, your dashboard, so that it makes sense. Okay. Apart from creating a beautiful dashboard, the dashboard has to make sense. Let me expand these charts, and this is looking good. And let's also increase this a little bit. But let's increase the height of this one so that everything aligns. And what else do we have? Okay, we can go ahead and, create some space between this chart and the card. Let me add some more space as I move this one here and I move this one here. I can actually increase the size of this card since the value is larger, and increase the size of this one also a little bit since the value is larger. Then reduce this one a little bit and reduce this a little bit also. And there are more things that can be done to our cards to make it look good, or to our dashboard, I mean to say. Okay, I think this is fine like this. Great. Awesome. Yeah, so so far so good. This is how far we can go, right? And we have our dashboard. Even though the dashboard is not looking, absolutely complete, but from this dashboard, you can go and you can give your report to say, Yes, we had from this sales data, we have 5 unique sales rep, 5 unique products sold, and we had a total of 9,075, almost 9,750 products sold, and we had made a total revenue of about 1.47 million. Then begin to make your analysis to say this is the trend of how this is working. We can also add filters, but because of time, we may not be able to do that. Show distribution by region, distribution by sales, and so on and so forth. All right, thank you very much. If you have questions, I think this is a good place to take questions and also give announcement. But let me allow for questions, please. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions or raise your hand. I'll allow you ask your questions. Are there questions? Any question from anybody? Yeah? Okay. In the absence of questions, okay, someone's hand is up. Yeah, Enola, please go ahead.
Please, I was not here yesterday, so I want to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Can all this be done on Excel too, or it's just on
Of
Google
course you
Sheets?
can. Of course you can. I said anything we're doing here can be replicated on Excel. You can also do it on Excel. Yes, please. Thank you for the question.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
any other question? Okay, so in the absence of question, I think we've come to the point where we can I can talk about the projects that you guys will work on. Now remember that we said this is a what? I remember we said this is a boot camp that will be giving out a certificate, right? And for you to earn the certificate, you have to work on some projects. So I have a project already that I've put together for us, and I will share the instruction with us. And there will be a deadline for the project to be turned in based on what we've learned. So all of these things that we've discussed today, there are questions in the project. I will just read out some part of the questions now. And if you have questions concerning the project, I will allow you to ask your question and then share the project brief with you as well as the data sets that you would need to work with. So this is the project brief I have prepared for this bootcamp. And it's only those people who would turn in this project that would actually, and so the people who participated from our attendance, you will get certificate of, the people who attended rather, they get certificate of attendance. Then the people who will complete this project will get certificate of participation. So I hope you know that there's a difference between certificate of participation and certificate of attendance. So yes, of course, from our attendance, we will give you out certificate of attendance. And the people who will be able to submit this project within the time frame, you will get certificate of participation. So here's the project. It's a mini project, and this is the overall objective. You should use Google Sheets to explore, clean, analyze, and visualize the transactional data to generate actionable insights for a retail company's strategic planning. The data set is linked here. When you click on the link, you have access to it. This is the project instruction. You are acting as a data analyst hired by a retailing consulting firm. Your job is to analyze transaction data collected from 5 different stores across Nigeria. You must clean the data clean and prepare the data, perform data analysis to answer key business questions. Of course, this is optional. If the data is clean, you don't need to do any cleaning again. Visualize your findings, make strategic recommendations, and share your Google Sheets with your project link for feedback. Okay? So your tasks and questions. Part A, for data cleaning. Remove any duplicates of transactions if you found any. Ensure all column names are in title case and consistent. Convert the dates column to dates format. Check for any missing values and document your how you handle them. Then create a new column. And I've given you the formula that you need to use to create the column. Part B, explore the data. So this is where you begin to answer the questions. How many total transactions occurred? Of course, this question should be answered from the dashboard. Like for instance, this one we just created. I can tell you the total number of transactions that occurred here. There are 9,750,000. I mean, 9,750 transactions that occurred. This is the total number of products sold, which means this is the number of transactions that occurred in terms of number of products. Then, that means you have to create a card to show that number. What is the total number of revenue, sales revenue? Create a card like we did on this call. Which store had the highest total sales? That should be answered from the chart also. Like here from this chart, I can tell you the product that had the highest sales, which is 200, which is headset, 222. So you have to create a card across the products. So these are the questions to be answered, and these are the visualizations to be done. And then you now submit your submission guidelines, save your project in Google Sheets, save it as with your name, then share the link. Make sure you use anyone with the link option, and we're going to provide you a Google form that you will use to turn in your feedback together with the link. So it's those people that will turn in this project, like I said earlier, that would eventually get certificate of participation. And this mini project will be forwarded to your emails, right? It will be sent to your emails for you to work with. Or maybe Tosin will communicate how you get the project. But that's that about that. There are questions, please. I'll take other questions again. Otherwise, this is where we'll call it a wrap. So, but before we go, I'd like to get feedback. I'd like to get feedback from the participants. At least, let's have 1 or 2 persons talk about their experience. If this bootcamp, this 2 days bootcamp, if you worth it at all. Let's get like Tosin, please, if you can get like 3, 4, 5 persons to give us feedback about this bootcamp, I would so much appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we give reactions to appreciate our instructor? It's really been insightful. Okay, let me know if you can give. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to take feedbacks. Anyone on the call who want to speak about? Okay, let me go first with Ayobami. Kindly unmute your mic and give your feedback about the 2-day webinar. Thank you. Ayobami, are you still on the call? All right. I think Omotayo is raising her hand. Omotayo, can you go ahead? Let's hear from you.
Okay, ma. Thank you so much, ma. I sincerely want to appreciate our boss that the Lord has just used for us. Is a whole lot. I really want to appreciate him with the way he explained. He took it bit by bit, where explainable that if you follow it very well, you are going to get it. Because this data analytics is not easy, but with the way he took us, it was so fantastic. Yes, I really want to commend him and say thank you very much, sir, for your time and for everything. The Lord will continue to be your strength. I've really learned a lot. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Omotayo. I can see Dr. Smith. Kindly unmute your mic, ma. Are you able to unmute and speak to us?
All right, I'll just repeat my comment on the chat. Good evening, everyone. So I said super packed and refreshing 2-day bootcamp. I didn't know how that was going to be compressed in literally 2 days. If you know DataFied, they usually have very loaded course content. So a big thumbs up to the CEO and the entire team for compressing knowledge in literally 4 hours. Yeah, that's super amazing. Now only DataFied, you understand? When PG enter, you know, say the matter serious, yeah? So now only DataFied feel deliver like that. So thank you so much. And even the project, like well thought through, well put together, very intentional. It's a free course. So even the intentionality in trying to, you didn't just do it anyhow because now who wrote their own belly something. All of us came because it was free. So, but thank you for going all the way. We'll blow the trumpet so that the people that come and pay the millions, you understand, for class will make up for the rest of us. So thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. We are glad to hear that amazing feedback. Oh, Oyindamola is saying thank you for the opportunity. We are glad to hear that. Precious, can you unmute and just tell us how you feel? Do you think you can handle, like if you say data now, you can handle with this little experience you have in Google Sheet? Hi, Precious. Are you here? Can you unmute? Is Precious still on this call? Okay, all right. So before I call on the General Secretary of NCCF to give us say his view and to appreciate DataFied, I would like to say that this is how DataFied runs. We are practical based. We enjoy hands-on. We like to make impact. This is a full bootcamp, and you can see the intentionality, as Dr. Smith said. You can see the intentionality, and that is how we run our academy. That is who Data Fight. We are known for that. That is interesting. Very interesting. Just in few hours, you're able to build a dashboard. And that is what is expected out there. That's what is expected out there. If you get a job in an organization, you know, that is what you are expected to do. We have moved from the era where we carry files in the office. Data is now, you can process your data in few hours when you have the knowledge. So I would like to say that DataFi, this is what we do. We train people in data analytics, and we train people with tools. We have a number 1,001 people who are passed through DataFi, and they've been able to do amazing stuff. I mean, if some of us are conversant with my status, you can see few weeks I posted some persons who got job. They actually, I think one person mentioned that it was through this free boot camp. Something like this was organized by DataFi in time past, and then the person, used the opportunity well. That is intentionality. That is Mr. Namdi for you. That's his person. He always loved to, do practicals, hands-on, and you can see that he even gave you projects. So you know that data analytics is not like a big thing that you cannot do. With this now, I'm sure a number of persons that try house this, you really enjoy it. It's actually interesting, yes. So I'm saying this to say that DataFi will be organizing, will be having another cohort soon, and then if I'm sure you enjoy, you know, the few times you had with us, just two sections, and you're able to do amazing things. You have knowledge. There are things you don't know before about, Google Meet and all of those things. So that is what DataFi is all about. We train people in data analytics. We help people to make sense of their data, organization, and the training runs for 2 months. After the 2 months, it's 5 months. After 2 months of hands-on, you get to intern with DataFi in 3 months for you to get real life experience. You handle real life data. That is what we do. This is real, like this is the real thing. I don't know if you can still hear me. Can you give me reaction if you can hear me? Can I get reactions? All right. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate this opportunity. And I'll be posting a flyer on the group for those who are interested to continue in this journey. You see, it's very simple. It's not so complex like you think in your head. I'm very sure that some persons have this feeling that it's a complex thing. It's not, what you can handle, but you can actually, with good instructors like we have in DataFight, you have support tutors, you have so many benefits, LinkedIn review, LinkedIn optimization, the CV review, and you have mentorship, with the CEO. You can see his intent. That is who he is actually. So I hope I see have Uncle Prince on the call. If you are still on the call, okay, very good. I would like you to say one or two before we end today. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much. I don't know. Pardon me to say this. My CBJ. Thank you so much. I know you just left us few days ago, but we still acknowledge you here in NCCF. So to our articulate, intelligent, proactive, wonderful facilitator, Mr. Nnamdi, thank you so much for um, your wealth of experience that you've been able to bring to us in 2 days. Honestly speaking, this is very, very, very rich. Thank you so much for your time, and you're even doing it for free. That's what is blowing my mind. Honestly, thank you so much, sir. On behalf of NCCF, Nigerian Christian Corpers Fellowship Edo chapter, on behalf of my president, I want to say thank you so much. On behalf of all Jesus Corpers and Corpers that connected to this boot camp, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. That the Lord will bless you, and hopefully we get to continue on this journey of data analytics rather. So hopefully we continue on this journey, and then hopefully, sir, you just help us to subsidize the money. Thank you so much, sir. We love you. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. God bless you, sir. So thank you. That's all from my end.
All right. Thank you very much, Prince. If
All
I
right.
if I may, let me just say
Thank you.
something. Tosin, please. If I may, just 1 minute. I want to speak concerning the last thing he said. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. One of the things I love to do, one of the things I derive passion in, is to impact people. I always believe in value over money, and value in the sense that when I impact you, I also want you to go and impact someone around you or beside you or someone who needs that help. And that is why what Tosin mentioned the other time, we usually run scholarship and highly subsidized training for fees for our trainings. So with what Prince just said, we'll be open. Tosin and Prince and those are the executives of this fellowship. If there's anyone that is coming from this fellowship to join the Datafied Academy, we are open to give a discount of 50%, of our training, which is a very large discount. And I tell you that you never regret, joining, going through this path with Datafied, to be specific, because there are results out there. So, and I wish you all best of luck, and may God continue to direct our steps and open doors for us. Thank you very much, everyone, and well done once more.
Thank you so much, sir. This is is wow. Like Dr. Smith said, it's really wow, like amazing. Oh, he said it's really odogu. All right, thank you so much, sir. We cannot appreciate you enough. Thank you for the impact. Thank you for everything. Like, this is an opportunity for coppers, to prepare themselves and then learn skills, because this is an era where we cannot, joke with learning digital skills like this. We cannot, thank you so much, sir. We are very grateful for as many. I'm going to drop a link on the group and share the flyers with us for as many people that are interested and coming through NCCF. I mean, 50% discount. Can we appreciate him? Can we just, show our wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. On behalf of Nigerian State, to be precise, we're very grateful. And I think some persons join even outside NCCF, they are part of this boot camp. Thank you so much, sir. We